In the desolate realm of Viridian, where jagged spires clawed at a perpetually bruised sky and ancient ruins whispered tales of forgotten despair, Kaelen moved. Not with the grand strides of a hero, but with the weary shuffle of a soul burdened by the pervasive gloom. Every dawn brought a fresh layer of dust to his tattered cloak, every dusk a deeper chill to his bones. The creeping decay was not just in the air, it was in the hearts of men. But what if the path to triumph wasn't through conquering a monstrous beast or reclaiming a cursed artifact, but through the quiet, relentless act of improving just a little every single day? Kaelen, once a scholar of forgotten lore, now sought a different kind of knowledge, the knowledge of self-mastery. He had spent years fighting grand evils, only to see them replaced by new ones, or worse, find them festering within. One grim morning, as the corrupted winds howled through the skeletal trees outside his dilapidated hovel, a revelation struck him. The macro was too vast, but the micro, his own actions, his own mind, was within reach. His first resolve was simple: rise with the false dawn before the ghoulish mists fully dispersed. He began by mending his tattered garments, a single stitch at a time, then sharpened his rusty blade, not for battle, but for the discipline of the act. He meticulously cleaned a corner of his hovel, pushing back the encroaching grime that mirrored the world outside. Each small task was a rebellion against the overwhelming apathy that threatened to consume him. He started reading from a single, resilient, unburnt page of an ancient, forbidden tome he'd salvaged, deciphering one cryptic phrase each day. But the path was not linear. The whispers began not from external demons, but from within his own mind. "Why bother?" they hissed, like the rustling of carrion eaters in the night. "The world is lost. Your efforts are futile." There were days he lay inert, the cold embrace of despair threatening to drag him back into the abyss. Yet he remembered the words from the ancient page. "The greatest battle is waged within, not without." He began to observe his thoughts, noting the insidious nature of self-doubt. He established a ritual. For every negative thought, he would force himself to recall 3 small accomplishments from his day, no matter how trivial. A perfectly tied knot, a clean shard of glass, a moment of focused breathing amidst the oppressive atmosphere. He discovered that consistency, even when progress felt invisible, was the true weapon. He'd do 10 push-ups, then 20, then 30, even when his muscles screamed and spectral figures seemed to mock his futile efforts in the shadows. His mind, once a tempest, slowly became a fortress, brick by brick, habit by habit. Inevitably, setbacks occurred. A crucial alchemical experiment failed, leaving a noxious vapor and a shattered retort. A self-forged tool snapped mid-use. Each failure was a tempting opportunity to regress, to embrace the comfortable inertia of surrender. But Kaelen had learned to view these not as endpoints, but as data points. He meticulously recorded his mistakes, analyzing what went wrong, consulting the remnants of his ancient texts, seeking subtle patterns in the world's decay that might offer new insights. He realized improvement wasn't about avoiding failure, but about leveraging it. When his strength training plateaued, he didn't give up. He altered his routine, experimenting with new, grueling exercises gleaned from the cryptic diagrams in his tome. His perseverance, fueled by a quiet, burning resolve, began to yield unexpected results. A wilted, dark flower near his hovel, long thought dead, showed a tiny, vibrant green shoot. The air, for a fleeting moment, seemed less heavy. As days bled into weeks and weeks into months, Kaelen's transformation, though gradual, became undeniable. His physical form, once gaunt, now carried a lean, wiry strength. His eyes, once dulled by despair, now held a sharp, unwavering clarity. He hadn't cleansed Viridian of its pervasive evil, but he had forged an inner sanctuary, a bastion of resilience that even the darkest forces could not breach. He continued his daily rituals, the dawn's cold plunge, the mastery of a new combat technique, the deciphering of another ancient riddle, the meticulous care of his meager belongings. He was not just surviving. He was thriving not in the traditional sense, but within the parameters of his grim reality. His consistent, daily acts of self-improvement radiated a subtle energy, pushing back the omnipresent despair. He found himself occasionally offering quiet, learned advice to a rare, lost wanderer, or mending a broken tool for a desperate villager's small acts, but ones that carried the weight of his relentless journey. He was a beacon not of grand power, but of unwavering, incremental self-mastery in a world that had forgotten what hope felt like. Kaelen's journey illustrates that profound transformation isn't born from singular, monumental efforts, but from the relentless, daily commitment to improvement. In a world steeped in despair, his discipline, consistency, and resilience allowed him to forge an internal fortress of strength and clarity, subtly impacting his environment and those around him. He learned that even amidst overwhelming darkness, the smallest, most consistent acts of self-mastery can ignite an unyielding light. The saga of Kaelen is a stark reminder. You don't need to conquer a kingdom to achieve mastery. You need only conquer yourself, one day at a time. The world around you may be a landscape of despair, but your inner world can be a beacon of unwavering strength. Embrace the small victories, learn from every setback, and let consistency be your most formidable weapon. For in the relentless pursuit of becoming a little better each day, you become unstoppable.